Hello, Gunpla fans! This is DZ Maven here, and it's time to review the big yellow... I'm not going to say that because you know YouTube's probably going to demonetize me if I try and curse on air, but anyway, it's time for one of the biggest and most expensive master grades, at least that I have ever owned. And it is the master grade, the O. Optimus Scirocco's personal mobile suit that he piloted towards the end of Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. Also one of the probably most famous antagonists of the Gundam series besides Char Aznavour. But probably the big giant yellow mobile suit became his personal suit at the end. And it's big, it's bulky, it's very thick. And it's here in master grade form. Right here for you here. So you can see it. It is all done, put together, nicely detailed, top-coated, and everything. I'm gonna get this guy turned around here for you. Here you can see all his wonderful angles. So, let's get right to it here. Detail-wise, this kit looks pretty good right out of the box here, but there are a few issues that you do kind of have to be aware of. He's not going to look completely perfect. I mean, size-wise and proportion-wise, he looks really good here. He's nice and big and chunky, and he's like a giant sumo wrestler or giant fat man, if you want to think of it that way. But pretty much is. The head is does look a little small on this kit compared to I think other pictures I've seen of the O, but maybe I guess that's correct here. It just seems kind of small compared to everything else on this kit here. And kind of a personal pickiness here. I probably would have liked it if the hands were just a little bit bigger on this kit here. I feel they are a little bit small. They are the 2.0 style hands, and they're pretty much no different in size from the hands on the 2.0 Gundam. So, I mean they work, but I think I would have liked it if they were just maybe a little bit bigger, because I think it would have probably fit in proportion with the rest of the mobile suit just a little bit better here. But as you can see here, it comes in a very nice looking banana yellow color here. You get a lot of that. I mean, mostly it's just yellow. But you do get a inner frame for this kit, which is pretty nice here. It's molded out of the same gunmetal plastic that I showed off with the Master Grade Wing Gundam. In fact, the Master Grade Wing Gundam came out about the same time as this, so I guess Bandai was probably into putting that gunmetal plastic into the frames of kits around that time. But there are a lot of little thrusters all around this guy here. I think I tried to count them. It's about like almost 80 thrusters around the O. Lots of thrusters. It's very nice looking, but there is a problem with this here. And the problem is that there's only really a few of the actual thrusters on this kit that actually have the green pieces inside of them. You got the main ones on the back here, and there's the ones in the shoulder right here, the ones in the front skirt armor, and a couple in the chest here. But pretty much all of them are supposed to have a green color inside of them, and unfortunately they all just come in that one single gunmetal color here, which if you want to be accurate, then you got to paint some green inside all of those, and this green color that the kit comes in is really hard to match. It's kind of a minty green. I just found some basic green paint and put it in there, and it looks well enough here. But I will tell you though that painting the green inside all of those thrusters and then putting the black inside for the thruster bins and everything and making sure it all looks all nice, that is actually quite a painstaking process to go through. Because like I mentioned, there's like almost 80 thrusters on this thing, and it's like you have to do all of them, and it's like, oh my god. There is a couple of red cables here in the chest here. Can't really see them too well, but you have to kind of paint those in too here. And there are some little gray thrusters in these front green spots you have to kind of paint in addition to these little sort of black marks on the front of the front of the legs here. I actually think it's supposed to be sort of a dark bluish color like what's on the head here, but I don't really have a color that matches that, so I just use black, and that looks close enough to me here. So. In addition, there are these little knuckles on the hands you have to paint in. I carefully painted those in, so yeah, you have that too as well here. But like I said, there is quite a lot of little detail painting here involved throughout the kit, especially for a kit this big. For a master grade, you probably didn't really expect that, but yeah, there is quite a lot going on. And also these little side pieces where the beam sabers are. There's actually a combination of a green vent here and a vent up top that has red in it, so I had to paint those in too. So yeah, just a lot of little detail painting involved in this kit. Quite a lot more than I expected for a kit from the time it came out and for the price range involved. It's quite a lot here, but you do get a lot of nice little inner detail showing in the leg right here. There's little red power cables and a lot of little detail underneath there you can see, which is really nice here. Including got some detail underneath the skirt armor and the back skirt armor and everything. It looks really nice under there. But I mean, I do want to mention also, let me pause this thing here for a second, turn it back around here for you. You do get some nice little detail inside the head. You can move that monoeye around. But the thing is, with this kit I noticed here, I don't know if you can tell right there, too much there, but he does have a monoeye in there, but weirdly enough, they do not give you a sticker for the monoeye, so you don't have any way to color that. This comes as a clear piece here, but I went ahead and painted it in on mine here, so it looks right here. But if you're not into painting your kits, you might run into a little bit of a snag there. So my suggestion is, if you want to be really cheap, just use a marker and color over it. You'll get a nice clear red effect out of it. So if you do that, but yeah, it's kind of weird for the price that Bandai didn't really give you a sticker for that. It's kind of weird. So speaking of all that, detail-wise score here, this thing gets an 8 out of 10 from me. It's good, it's decent, but if you want, I mean, if you don't care about the details, it'll look fine straight out of the box. But if you kind of want to make it look accurate, you're going to have to put some work into this guy to make him look right. Alright, let's talk about the articulation of this guy here. So as big as he is, you might think he can't really articulate that much, but he's probably okay, I would say. Let me try and pick him up here, and we will go through the paces here. If I can just find a good spot to hold him. So starting from the top here, you got your head, and like I mentioned, there is a movable monoeye in there. It's really hard to see the monoeye because it's so small, but the head can move around a little bit like that, and it can look up and forward a little bit, so there is a double joint in the neck there, so it's pretty nice there. And the arms here, he can move up and around like this here. It does have a double joint in the arm, like so here, like that. In addition, there is like a little bit of a wrist joint in here too. I don't know if you can tell, but he can move his wrist like that as well. Rotate around. And this shoulder armor can lift up a little bit like that, and this little thruster will come out like that as well. And this little piece here is on a ball joint, so it can move around pretty well here. There is a shoulder clavicle joint in here, if you can believe it. You can move forward just a little bit like so, like that, and you can lift his arm up about that far or so, pretty much. So arm range movement is pretty good. The only problem I have here, it does kind of get loose if you mess around with it so much. I have had this guy come apart here at the shoulder area right here a few times when I'm moving it around. And sometimes these shoulder pieces tend to be a little loose for me. I think there could have been like maybe a little bit tighter connection here, in my opinion. But I mean, you could get some paint in there, maybe tighten it up a little bit here. Like I mentioned, the hands are the 2.0 hands. You got your 3 fingers and your index finger here. Your thumb. It works well enough, but there's a problem here that it does like to pop off very easily off of the little wrist piece there. So you want to be careful about that. See if I can get it back on. Yeah, it's back on. It does come off a little too easily in my opinion here, so just kind of be careful with that. Now down to the waist here. He can turn at the waist a little bit, but not a whole lot. And he's got not really that much back and forth here. He doesn't really move that much in the waist here, mostly, but he's got just a little bit of range of motion there. While I got him here, the cockpit will try and get the cockpit open without it coming apart here. Then it slides out a little bit like that, and top piece comes off, bottom piece comes down. The cockpit is open, and I don't know if you can see him, but Mr. Paptimus Karoko is in there. You might only be able to see his legs, but he's in there. trust me, he's in there. Moving on down here to the, as you can see here, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. The arm's starting to come apart over here. Trying to move it out of the way here. Actually, no, we'll just let go of the gun for now. But yeah, this comes out after a while, and I don't. Connection there is too loose. It kind of bugs me. Moving on down here to the front skirt armor. Can move up about that far. Not as far as I would like it to, considering that you do have these extra arms under here. Get that. These are the hidden arms that are on the O here. They're okay, but I kind of wish the articulation was a little bit better on these. You can move them up about that far down, but they won't move side to side at all, which is really unfortunate. I really wish they could move side to side somehow. And I don't think it would have been that hard for Bandai to do. They just could have included like an extra joint in here somewhere, but so that it could move side to side. But I kind of think they just could have done a little bit better there. Side skirt piece, this can only really go up and down like that. Back skirt doesn't really move a whole lot, about that much, but I don't really think it has to move that much. There's nothing on the backpack here that moves at all, so you can just leave that there. Moving on down to the leg here. There is another joint inside the hip here, so I can come forward a little bit here if needed. But you can come forward maybe about that far here. Not a whole lot actually. And back not that much, about that far here. There is a knee joint here, and you can't really see it in here, but yeah, you can kind of see it right there. The upper leg does split apart just a little bit right there. So if we can grab it away. And the knee joint can bend about that far here in the leg. This foot here can move like so here. In addition, it can rotate a little bit like this here. And the foot can go back and forth a little bit like that. And it can rotate a little bit like so here. So these pieces here, the front leg pieces, don't really move around that much here. This one moves a little bit here, but yeah, that's kind of it there. So that's kind of it for the articulation, really. So yeah, articulation wise, it does have a decent range of articulation. It's just that his sheer bulk kind of gets in the way, so he can't really get into that many good poses, standing or otherwise. Now you can get this guy up on an action base, and you can kind of get some interesting poses out of him, sort of make him look like he's flying around when he's on an action base. The only problem you're going to run into is that these feet are kind of bulky and heavy, so they will tend to sag a lot while he's on the action base. So you might not be able to get that many good poses out of him on the action base as well. So it's okay considering his bulk here. So he kind of gets a 7 out of 10 from me on articulation here. So it's just okay, really. I'd say it's okay for what this kit is, I'd say. Alright, so getting on to the extras of this guy here. It doesn't really come with a whole lot here. I mean, but then again, you're getting a really massive kit here, so maybe you don't really need a whole lot. You do get his nice looking beam rifle here, which almost looks like a giant beam bazooka. It's pretty nicely detailed here. You got a nice little yellow piece for these pipes here. The ammo, the E-pack can come off the bottom like so. Right back on. As you can see here on the front here, I went ahead and painted in the scope sensor, which is supposed to be on this here. They don't give you a sticker or a clear piece or anything for that, so you're just going to have to paint that in. It is red from what I've seen, so if you want to try and match that color, you can. It's just some silver paint with clear red on top. The other thing about this here is that you do get these little plastic stickers here that go along the top here, these little 3 panels here. The back right there on top, right here, and along the bottom here. They gave you these little plastic stickers here. They basically serve the purpose of covering up the seam line, because this beam rifle comes in basically 2 halves with the front piece separate. And this gunmetal color, the seam is pretty obvious here along with the nubs when you cut it off, like right there. Like a nice little black nub back there. It looks really nice this way. It has a little interesting level of detail to it, so I kind of like this idea. It would be nice if Bandai would do this again sometime, but they really haven't, as far as I'm aware. If you've ever built some of the really old first Master Grade kits that came out, like the Master Grade Gundam and the Master Grade Zaku 2, they did come with some extra add-on plastic detail stickers, but those were mainly for adding extra detail, not for covering up seam lines like this here. But it's kind of the same sort of thing here. So, but again, I haven't seen Bandai use this idea again since here, which is kind of disappointing here because I think it's kind of neat here. Now the O's other main weapon are the beam sabers here. You got some nice large-looking beam sabers here. You get 4 of these. Here's one of them right here. And you do get your yellow beam saber blades, like so here. And you have 4 beam saber blades, but only 2 beam saber blades. What the heck? This is kind of a weird decision on Bandai, considering how expensive this thing is. Like, why could you not include another set of beam sabers for this? I do not know. But anyway, you can take some more yellow beam sabers from some other kits, like the Master Grade Cubile or the Master Grade Yakushiki, or even the RE1100 Bow has the same yellow beam sabers that'll work with this. So there's lots of kits out there of yellow beam sabers. I got plenty of them on hand, so it's not a big deal for me. But if the O is like your only Master Grade kit, then you will probably be hurting for some yellow beam sabers, especially if you don't have any enemy suits that use the yellow beam sabers or anything like that here. So. Yeah, the other thing that kind of came to mind here when I was looking at this here is that I really do kind of wish this kit came with like some custom looking beam sabers, or some bigger, thicker beam sabers, like the beam sabers on the Master Grade Sananju. I think that would have looked really nice with the O, considering that from some of the things I've seen about the O, some of the mechanical stuff here, the beam saber for the O is supposed to be a little bigger. It's supposed to be like thicker on one side, like a big sword, not so much like a saber from what I've seen. So it would have been nice if Bandai had some custom beam sabers for this here, but I think it would have looked better. But I guess they cheaped out on the beam sabers here, considering how expensive everything else here is. You do get your 144 Paptimus Goroko figure here. Put a little bit of panel wash on him so you can kind of see what it looks like here. Nice little figure. And as I mentioned before, you do get an action-based connector. It's a really wide looking action-based connector, but it does stick on and it does work. So if you want to put them on action-base, here you go. And that is pretty much it for the extras on the O. Not a whole lot here to work with. I do feel they kind of shorted out on the beam sabers here. I think a lot of people agree on that. But I mean, the beam rifle is pretty nice here, so I can't really complain about too much. And the beam saber handles do look good. But then again, the O doesn't really come with anything else besides that, so I can't really say it's missing anything. So it gets a 7 out of 10 for me on the extras here. So I mean, they're good. They're good. It could be better, but it's good. Alright, so let's get on to the value of this kit here, which is probably going to be the most interesting topic here concerning this kit here. This kit came out in August of 2010 for a whopping 12,000 yen. Yep, that is about $109 at current exchange rates, which is the same price as the Perfect Grade Gundam and the Perfect Grade Zaku 2. So you're paying perfect grade money for a Master Grade kit. So you're probably wondering, is this kit worth it at that price? Well, to put this into perspective here, a few years before, well, actually no, actually quite a few years before this, in 2002, the High Grade Universal Sentry O came out. That retails for only 2,400 yen, which is not even a third of this. It's an old kit. I've looked at some pictures of it. It requires a lot of detail painting, especially in the thrusters, to make it look right. But it's what you would expect of a high grade kit here, and the articulation I've seen of it looks to be about on par with what I've seen here on the Master Grade. So you're not getting anything on articulation on it. So, but it is a much bigger kit. This is a much bigger kit with a little bit more detail going on with it. But you know, the price disparity there is like massive. It's like almost 10,000 yen price disparity there. So is this worth 10,000 yen more? I don't know. I really don't know. But let's compare it to something else here, like the Sazabi Verka, which if I have a picture of it next to VO in my photo gallery, you can kind of see it next to it. And the Sazabi is about the same size as VO here. It might be like a smidge taller, but it's definitely not as bulky as it. But the Sazabi Verka went for 9,000 yen, which is about $83. And it has two beam rifles. It has lots of nice little beam effect parts. It has a inner transformation mechanism. It has lots of part separation on all its big panels, and it has water slide decals. It has a light up, you can put a light in the eye for it. It comes with the kind of 3.0 hands, which are pretty nice. Again, you get all that for a kit that's about the same size as VO, that has a lot more going on with it for less. So you tell me if this is justified. Now we'll go on to a little funny story here, but I've heard about this kit. Sort of the mythos behind the Master Grade O here is that this kit is actually based on a prototype that Bandai had made probably sometime around 2002 or 2003. I'm only aware that there was a scratch built Master Grade O that appeared in a magazine in 2002. I don't think that was a Bandai involved, but Bandai did run a poll at the time asking for what Master Grades people wanted to see, and the O was at the top of that poll. I think also around that same time there was a prototype of the Master Grade Marasai, and I think it was between three kits at the time that Bandai was deciding to build, and there was the Marasai, the O, and I think the other one was the Zeong, which the Zeong ultimately got made. So Bandai probably had this in the works since then, and putting this kit together, it kind of feels like an older Master Grade. It feels like it's from 2005 or before, because I built kits from then. It uses a lot of big polycaps in the joints, a lot of big simple parts and simple part separation, and not really any color inserts and any of the details on this kit. Kind of gives away that this is not quite as new a kit as it probably should be. But it does have the 2.0 hands. Those are probably added on. It's probably why they feel smaller on this kit than they probably should be. But this is all speculation here. This is just stuff I've heard and read elsewhere, and kind of my impressions of when building this kit. So at the end of the day, is 12,000 yen justified for this kit? I'm going to go with no. I think if this kit had been priced around 9,000, 8,000, or 9,000 yen, around the same price as the Sazabi Recall, I think I would probably feel a lot better about the price on this kit. At 12,000 yen, I don't know what I'm getting with this kit over something like the Sazabi Recall. So value-wise, it's not the greatest. So I give it a 6 out of 10 on a value score. If you want a figure or a kit of the Master of the O, the high grade Universal Century might be more up your alley and more affordable. I was lucky that I was able to snag this kit at $93, like below what it is listed at. And at $93, I kind of feel a little better that I got it at that price rather than paying like $120, which is what I usually see on Amazon or other online hobby stores. So if you can find one at a good price, it might be worth it. But at $120, I don't think this kit is really worth buying. That's just my opinion here. So at the end of all of this, the Mighty Master Grade VO gets a 28 out of 40. So it puts it into the above range category for Gunpla kits here, but it's not in that great category, which is kind of in a 30 and above for me here. So it's a nice, big, amazing looking kit, and it has a lot of shelf presence to it. Believe me, it does. And it does feel special in many ways. But the build of it is very simple. Not a whole lot of extras, considering that you really should have had 4 beam sabers with this kit. And it just kind of feels like the price and quality ratio with this kit is a little off, I'd say. So, would I recommend this kit? Maybe not really. This is for fans of the O only, I would say. If you're a big fan of Patimus Kuroko and his O, then yes, this kit probably is worth the asking price. If you're not into the O that much, this kit is not a buy for you. I'm just going to make it real simple there. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review and found it informative and interesting. And I've got more kits coming to review this month here. I got a couple of new kits here that I will be working on throughout the month here, including another big one that's coming. You might have already seen that before. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you liked. Leave any comments below if you have any questions or anything else about this massive kit here. And I hope to see you guys next time. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye.